Relationship advice update. I, 30 female found out my husband, 32 male, hired my friend, 26 female to strip at his bachelor party. Original story. 4 years ago, I got married to my husband after dating for 6 years. So 10 years total. Now my friend Rebecca has stripped since she was 21. She stopped last year after getting married and is going to be a stay-at-home mom when her baby is born. Since our childhood, we are very close and we're basically neighbors. She lives at the bottom of the road we live on. Last week, one of my husband's friends visited at the same time as Rebecca, as I had made plans to shop with her. I forgot to cancel and she showed up after she left. My husband's friend commented that he can't believe we're still friends after the bachelor party. When I asked my husband what his friend meant, he refused to comment and we got into a huge fight over it when he told me Rebecca had been the stripper at his bachelor party. I texted Rebecca in that moment that I don't want her around anymore, but she hasn't responded in a week. I feel betrayed by the both of them, but I know it was just her job. I miss Rebecca a lot, but I'm so hurt. I don't know what to do. Now for the top advice before reading the first update. My biggest concern is the friend's comment. I would want to know what happened if it was me. I would ask him, her and his friends. The fact that she hasn't responded also makes me suspect there was more. Same. If she's trashy enough to do this to her friend, then she's probably also trashy enough to cheat with him. This might get buried, but I'm a professional burlesque performer. At one point, a fellow dancer asked if I wanted to perform with her at a private holiday party. And when she told me the payout, I almost crapped myself. I was pretty new at this point and didn't even know I could make this amount of money from performing. But I found out it was for a business owned by a friend of my dad's, and I bailed immediately. There are some lines you just don't cross. Losing a friend is hard no matter what. But this person was not your friend when she crossed the boundary, and she wasn't your friend when she continued to hide it from you. You can miss her and mourn the relationship you thought you had. But this is not a loss. Good luck. I want to start with you're fully entitled to your reaction to this. This is something your best friend and husband have been keeping from you for 4 years. Obviously, they knew it was wrong and extremely disrespectful towards you. Otherwise they would have told you about it themselves. I put more blame on your husband than your friend. It was her job and maybe she was desperate for money, but was your best friend the only stripper in town? No, this was intentional and wrong. Your husband lacked any consideration and respect for you and your feelings by doing this. I would sit down and think about how your husband and friend have treated you over the years. Whether they respect you and your boundaries. Only then should you have a big conversation with both of them individually to see if these relationships are salvageable. And now for the first update. I confronted them both separately. They both gave two very different stories. Rebecca says that my husband got drunk, groped her, and when she refused, he pushed her and started to yell at her. Apparently, my husband and his friends believe I shouldn't be friends with her because she lead them on. My husband says that they didn't sleep together, but Rebecca tried to initiate and performed oral while he was blackout drunk. I'm staying with my parents because I don't know who to believe here, or if I should even believe either of them. All I've done is argue with my husband since the confession. I'm left more confused than ever, and honestly, I just want to say F to both of them. But if my husband's story is true, then he's totally innocent. But what if Rebecca is telling the truth? What if neither of them is? I'm sick of them both. I haven't stopped crying since arriving at my mother's, to be honest. And I don't think I can. Why would he hide this for 4 years? Why would she if they both believe they're fully innocent victims? Here, my husband is a mean drunk, but he's always so soft-spoken, and I don't know if he can do those things Rebecca claimed, but I don't know how he reacts around his friends. But I've known him longer than Rebecca too, but I'm all for believing women. I feel like by agreeing with my husband, I am denying Rebecca's story/side. Now for the top advice before the final update. But if my husband's story is true, then he's totally innocent. I think hiring a stripper, personally for your bachelor party, makes him far from innocent, no matter what events transpired. Plus, who hires their own strippers? That's the best man's job. Yeah. He sought out this Rebecca specifically knowing she was a close friend of yours. That's a whole different level of intent when looking at bachelor party entertainment options, coupled with a statement that he's a mean drunk. Why are you even contemplating staying with him? I'd be getting some therapy and divorce attorney so I could move on in a healthy manner if he's willing to admit to a drunk or right out the gate. The real story is way worse. Hiring her in the first place is not innocent. I don't know who I would believe either, but either way he is in the wrong for hiring her behind your back. Editing for clarity: since I'm being accused of victim blaming, being violated doesn't make it okay that he hired her in the first place. Hope he should drop both these people. Yeah. This for another thing, her story is way more believable than his. He claims she tried to perform oral on him while he was drunk. Come on, former stripper here, there's absolutely no way that a dancer would waste their work time sucking someone's flat member while they were blacked out. None. She went to go to work, not commit actual violation. My feeling says there was a type of intercourse, but both of them are lying to you about it. I'd drop all of these people. This should be so much higher. There is a reason your friend took this job, and there is a reason she didn't tell you. And now for the final update. This will be the last update I'd like to say. Thanks to everyone commenting. I realize I don't care anymore. I have done nothing but think about my husband throughout our marriage. My entire life has revolved around him. All my thoughts revolved around him, and I finally realized I've been the only one keeping this marriage going. I've been relying on him and forgiving him for such a lot of BS, because I don't have anyone else. I gave him everything, and that's not happening anymore. Maybe finding out about Rebecca just sped things up. Maybe I relied too heavily on my husband. I told him this morning that it's over. He has yet to stop texting me begging for a chance. I texted Rebecca and told her I no longer want her in my life either. Both have confessed to sleeping together and continuing to do so. My husband out of anger, who insulted me, and maybe Rebecca wanted a last F you. Rebecca's baby is my husband's, so to say hell you back. I messaged her partner to let him know I'm devastated, obviously. But now we have to make plans about what's happening with the house/custody, and I can't afford to continue crying about it. Rebecca's partner let me know at 6 p.m. that she has moved. He helped her move all of her stuff into my husband's house. It's all happened so fast, and I can't believe I was so oblivious to it. Maybe I wanted to be once again. Thanks for all the comments and messages. It's really made me open my eyes. It's all happened so fast that I don't have time to process it all. Looks like they wanted me to find out before she gave birth a nice happy family. Now for some top comments. Good for you for standing up for yourself. A few things to keep in mind. 1. That is also your house. He has no right to evict you. He cannot by law kick you out. 2. Get a lawyer ASAP. Your husband will try to manipulate and guilt you into doing what he wants them to believe. His lies. Find a Shark 3 screenshot and record everything they say. Get proof of both of their emotional abuse to help you get custody. 4. Make sure you have all of yours and your children's important documents like passports, birth certificates, social security numbers, etc. 5. Freeze your credit. 6. Talk to the lawyer about whether it's best to stay in the house as long as you're safe or not in some places by leaving. It helps you gain the house. 7. Get a counselor to help cope with the above. You can do this. You are strong enough. However, your husband is going to be terrible through this. A therapist will help you cope and see through his mistreatment and lies. 8. See if the children can stay with you and keep them safe. 9. File for child support before Rebecca can. That way you should get more. Lawyer can help with this. Good luck. Fight hard. You got this. I find it extremely disturbing how both of them used actual violation to hide their mistakes. It tells you a lot about who they are as people. I say, better late than never, and do thank your ex's friends who kind of helped you unknowingly. I personally think it was eating him from the inside, and he nudged in that direction so that he will still be a friend and not feel guilty of hiding this from you. Congratulations on taking this step. It's going to be really hard. But if you are strong enough to step out of this mess, you are strong enough to move forward too. Lots of well wishes to you. Yeah, and the little happy family game her ex-husband and ex-friend are currently playing isn't going to end well for them either. No girl, you fight if your name is on the deed, make him sell that house and you get your half of that money. Get a lawyer, heck talk to all the good ones. So he has to find some cheap one. If you need to talk, surviving infidelity helps, trust me with all that. He doesn't have a leg to stand on in the divorce, having it written that he will pay for the divorce and your lawyer. Now, for the last story, my husband, 28 mil, admitted to having drunk intercourse with his friend, 30 female on the night of his bachelor party, and now she's pregnant. I don't even know how to start this. It feels like my life is just completely falling apart in front of me. He swore to me he would never be that guy. And throughout our entire relationship, he was always kind, sweet, thoughtful, supportive, someone I could always count on no matter what. My best friend, I thought he was my soulmate. We got married 3 months ago and everything was perfect. We were happy, and then he gave me the biggest shock of my life. He sat me down and confessed everything. Neither of us did much for our bachelorette party because of COVID and only had close friends over. He went to his buddy's house and I stayed in our place with my friends. He told me about how he got way too drunk at his friend's house. A few of them did, including her, and the ones who were too drunk to drive stayed the night. Well, according to him, after everyone else knocked out, they had a drunk hookup in his friend's living room that he instantly regretted. It was a week before our wedding, 3 months now, since we said our vows, and he never said a thing. Then he tells me that he's been struggling with wanting to tell me because he never wanted to cheat on me and completely regrets that night, but now he knows he needs to, twisting the knife further. He tells me in tears that his friend is pregnant and she says it's his. I am full-on sobbing at this point. He's on his knees telling me how sorry he is, and he swears he didn't mean for the ex to happen. We were together for 5 years. We were married, and now I learn he not only cheated on me but is having a baby with another woman. I wanted to die in that moment. I still do. He begged me to give him a chance to make this right, and he'll do whatever it takes. I've never seen him cry so much, telling me over and over that he's sorry and that he loves me. It was too much. I told him to leave. I could tell he didn't want to, but at least he respected my wish to be alone. He called and texted a few times to tell me he wants to talk whenever I'm ready. I finally decided after a few days, when I've had time to process this. My first question was what his plans are for the baby. He was honest about it, said he wants his friend to get a paternity test first before anything, which I agree is a good idea, but if it's his, he wants to be involved in his child's life. Another thing I agree with, he should not be in this child's life. He told me he will not have any relationship, though, with his friend, and will be strictly co-parent. I know he was trying to make it seem like he will never have to speak to her again, but the truth is, if the baby is his, she will always be a constant person in his life. No matter what, I felt like my brain was on autopilot the entire conversation. I felt so emotionally numb that it almost felt like a business meeting. I guess that was my way of shielding myself from more hurt. He told me again for the millionth time that he's sorry for hurting me and for breaking my trust, how he wants to know how to fix this and doesn't care how long it takes if it means having me in his life. He asked me what I wanted to do. And I was honest. I told him, I don't know if I could ever forgive him for this, or if our relationship will ever be repaired after what he's done. The fact of the matter is, he would have kept this a secret if she hadn't gotten pregnant. That's the part that gets me the most. All I could think about was our wedding day, how he happily said his vows to me, knowing that just a few days ago he was sleeping with another woman, whether he meant to or not. He accepted. He was horrible for keeping it from me and will accept it if I never want to see him again before he left. He asked me if I could really think about things before making a final decision, and he'll accept whatever it is, even if it means wanting him out of my life for good. I don't know if it's maybe me trying to humanize him or whatever, but honestly, I never seen him so broken before. It's been over a week and I'm no better than I was before. My heart feels heavy and I haven't stopped crying. Everything we've been through together, all our memories and plans for the future, it's gone now and ruined. I can't look back at the last 5 years of my life anymore without only thinking about all this pain. I don't know if I have it in me to forgive him, but at the same time I love him with all my heart, and I know he does too, which makes it hurt even more. Everything would have been fine if it hadn't been for this, and before anyone says anything, yes, divorce is on my mind. But that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, even though a part of me doesn't want to give this relationship up. Now for the top advice: you're young and don't have kids, just leave. Don't waste your time with someone who will always be a part of another person's life because he decided to cheat on you before the wedding because of his needs. You are at a perfect place where you can leave and not have any regrets. It doesn't matter if the child is his or not. Point is, he cheated on you and could have exposed you to an STD. He didn't care for your health and mental well-being. In simple terms, yield him to the moon. Agreed. My ex-husband cheated on me 1 year into our marriage and kept it up for almost a year while I was wondering why he was so distant when we were supposed to be starting a family. I shuddered to imagine if I'd gotten pregnant. I only found out because I found letters from her. I don't know when or if he would have come clean, and the lying was just disgusting. It's been 15 years and every time I think about the chaos of that time, I'm so grateful I knocked the hell out and ended it quickly. It turned out he was actually cheating with multiple people. I was hurting for a while and drank too much but got myself together. Met an awesome guy and I am happier than I could have imagined. Yard him to another universe and don't look back in certain situations. Infidelity can be overcome, but there are a few marks against that possibility. In this case, this was a week before your wedding. This was not during a rough bachelor after a decade of marriage. Not that those things excuse infidelity, but he did this at what should be a high point of bliss and excitement, when you're about to commit your lives to one another. What happens if your relationship is going through issues in the future? What if you have a child and can have fun for a while? Do you trust him to stay faithful during the tough times? He didn't come clean right away. He allowed you to go into the marriage not knowing what he did. And it's pretty clear that he's only telling you now because the pregnancy has forced his hand. If she hadn't gotten pregnant, he might never have told you. If you were really sorry, he would have been honest with you. This one may seem like a lesser offense, but this wasn't a situation where he was being pressured by the boys or where everyone was getting wild. He hooked up with a friend alone in someone's living room at what should have been a normal house party. If he can't keep it in his pants while he's just hanging out with some friends, what happens if temptation arises again? How can you know if this has happened before, and he didn't tell you because there was no baby to catch him out? This child, and by extension, her mother, are going to be in your lives for at least the next 18 years. He is going to have to communicate with her about child support, potential custody, life decisions. Normally, in order to move past infidelity, the cheating partner needs to cut off all contact with her affair partner. And that's not possible in this case. You have a living reminder of how he betrayed your impending marriage vows. If you really want to try and work through this, you can give counseling a go. But to be honest, I can't see the trust being repaired in a healthy way here given the nature of his infidelity. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you like this content, I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone.